been evident. Oh, okay, this is live on YouTube. Wow.
So welcome everyone. We're really happy and honored to have today joining on Ppcr Talk Oliver Clerc, who is senior TA in Ppcr and who was one of the student students when he in 2018 when he was a student, and who is currently right now doing his second year of the NPH. And so we're really happy to have you, Oliver. Thank you for your time and for delivering this great talk to our Ppcr alumni and current students who are really interested in following that path, and thank you for guiding them too. So please, you might begin, and we're here for you.
So welcome everyone, and thank you very much for this invitation to speak to you tonight about the possibilities of doing an NPH. I think the first question is, why an NPH? What is that? Because now you are doing Ppcr, or maybe you finished it recently and you already are learning a lot. You're already ready to start research with what you have learned in Ppcr. But there is a big focus on Ppcr on randomized controlled trials, and there are many other things, and also many areas that you may want to deepen in your research capacity, also if you do randomized trials. And this is a good option to deepen this, this research capacity and to reach also a degree, because sometimes when you are applying then for a position, having a degree is something that brings something more. Then actually the NPH is a very good option for that, because maybe you think, okay, but public health, most of us in the Ppcr are clinicians. I should have told you, I'm a cardiologist from Switzerland. We focus on the health of individuals, and public health is something a little bit different. We focus more on the health of the population. But actually, the people in public health are the ones who are really mastering many techniques that are useful in research, in analytics, just like biostatistics, but also epidemiology, and many different aspects of study design that actually you can really deepen if you do such a study course. So this is actually why I wanted to do it. But of course, starting for an NPH is an adventure. And there are many different possibilities, different schools that offer it with different specialties. So it depends if you already know if you want to focus, maybe, I don't know, on global health or on gender health or something specific on health. I wanted actually to stay focused on clinical research. And this is why I chose, actually, I'm doing the Master in Public Health at the Harvard Public School, because there is one course of study which is called Clinical Effectiveness. And this is actually a focus on clinical research. Most of the people there are clinicians who want to deepen their research capacities. And so that was the thing for me, but maybe you are interested in something else. And also, some things you have to think about if you want to go for this is how practically you would like to do it. Because a master in public health, it depends where you do it, but you should count about 1 to 1.5 years to do it in full time. There are also part-time opportunities and online possibilities depending on where, on which orientation, which school. So that's something that you should maybe consider and study, because it's not so simple to just go to Boston for a year or for 2 years or to another place. Doing it online can be very interesting, also in part-time. In my situation, I was considering it. I thought it might be too complicated, but it happened that actually right now I'm at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston because I was organizing a fellowship abroad, and independently of my idea of maybe doing an MPH, we were thinking of doing a research fellowship here. So actually the School of Public Health is just around the corner, so why not? And of course, another aspect that you should consider is the tuition fees. Which is also an important practical aspect. And I was lucky because we were just able to send the house of my grandparents, so the money just came from the sky, and by chance I was going to be for more than a year just around the school, so everything was telling me just do it. So this is why I'm doing it. But I know that it may be different for other people. Things you may consider, there are many good options in the United States, but maybe you already have questions. If you want to ask something, just don't hesitate, because I would like it to be a lively discussion and not only like I speak and no. So of course the one I can best speak about is the one at the Harvard School of Public Health, because I'm there. But there are also other ones in the United States. Another one that is very good is at for example, the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg tool, which can be also done online. That is in Baltimore, and you can also find many other schools in the United States. Maybe in Boston, there is the Boston University is also offering a very good one. And there is not only the United States, there are, for example, very good options in London, such as at the London School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, which is also a very well-known one, or at the Imperial College. They also have the interest that they are a little bit less expensive in England. However, if you are coming from overseas, it's a little bit more expensive than if you are from England, but depending on your combination, if you take an online one, this could be interesting if the tuition fee is an issue. So you may also consider it. I think an information that you may be looking for is what are the tuition fees? It depends on the university, but I think it's a difficult topic we should mention because it's in the planning. So if you do it at Harvard University, it's about $60,000 a year. And in other universities in the United States, this is about a similar level. Like if it's on 1.5 years, then it might be 90,000. This is just like an order of magnitude. And again, in England, it's a little bit less, so that could be also interesting. And also, don't forget that there are many funding opportunities. So if tuition fee is an issue, there are many options in the United States. When you're applying, you can also check a box that you would like also to apply for support for your tuition. And there are different options, such as people are applying for Fulbright grants and different things to support their tuition fees. So if the costs are an issue, you may find solutions, and there are also many options you can find on the internet. I was lucky to have the money that came by chance, but I understand that this can be an issue. And also like planning the time in your life, because if you want to do it full time, then you have to plan at least 1 year. And actually the option that I chose is also interesting, but maybe we can go into more detail after that which option you have in the Harvard University. Because the next topic before you study is actually how to apply. Obviously, it will depend on the universities. In the United States, there is a system called SoFast. This is an online application system, and you have to send all your information. This is quite complete, so you have to take some time to fill all the rubrics. And the deadline, at least for Harvard, is this year on the 1st of December, so it's approaching. It may be different for other universities, but all of them have their information on their website. It's very easy to find all the details about which course the offers, which specialties, which types of studies, like online, not online, part-time, and so on. So you can really find the one that fits best your goals, and also the info and tuition is also on internet. And then in the United States, you would apply to SoFast. You must fill many things. And what are the specific requirements if you are from abroad, just like I am? You need a test of English as a foreign language, a TOEFL. This is not very difficult, so that's not a problem. You can do it everywhere in the world. Another one that is a little bit more difficult is a GRE. Is a test, general test of English and mathematics, testing about high school level. But fortunately now, because of COVID, since many test centers are closed, this requirement is waived. So you can enter the university for a master without GRE. So that's actually a good moment to do it. Do it now, because if you do it later, you will need to do the GRE. I had to do it. It was a bit tricky because the test center in Switzerland was full. So I had to take a train to northern Germany to do it. It was an adventure. But well, so I have something to tell you. It was an adventure to go there. And don't forget to prepare it, because I mean, the questions are not so easy on English and mathematics. So if you can plan a bit of time to prepare for it for the GRE, you have many help for preparation on the internet. The GRE itself can sell you books, or you can find other books on how to prepare for the GRE. So it's quite important to try to have a score that is as high as possible, because of course it also enters the selection process. I think this is also an important topic, the selection. is probably not as hard as for people, for example, who are starting medical studies or law studies, for example, at Harvard, where the selection is extremely hard. Oh, I hear someone is speaking.
¿Qué pasó?
Sorry, I don't really understand.
1:18. ¿Por qué?
Maybe this is someone who should have.
Voy a ponerme esto porque voy a escuchar algo importante y no voy a escuchar
so,
somebody is speaking Spanish.
I was speaking about the selection. I think, well, of course, you have to send your test results. You need some recommendation letters, and I think a very good plan is to ask Professor Freni for a recommendation letter. This is very helpful. He did it for me, and I'm very thankful about that. It certainly helped me to be accepted. And you have to write also a small letter to explain why you want to do it. And of course, it's important to speak about why and so on, and then to also mention public health. Public health is also an interesting aspect because if just like me, you are a clinician, you are maybe more focused on individual care. But for example, I also see in cardiology, we see infarction, people with myocardial infarction coming every day. Opening the artery is good, but trying to think about the population, how could we prevent those people to be sick? It would be maybe even better. So this is about public health. And of course, public health is now a very hot topic with the COVID. They are kind of in the middle of the storm in all the schools of public health. So it's a particularly interesting moment to study public health and to think big and to have a look at the big picture on health, and not only on one patient comes to see me with a complaint, but more what can we do at the population level to avoid problems and to improve health. And actually, once you delve into it, it becomes very interesting. I'm kind of coming out of the topic, but it was just to tell you, don't forget to mention a little bit public health in your letter of application, because this is basically a master of public health, but they are also happy to take physicians, clinicians, no problem. Most of the people who do, for example, the specialty clinical effectiveness are physicians. And well, then when you have all the documents, once again, the deadline this year is the 1st of December for next year in Harvard, but it could be different in other universities. Then you click on submit, and then you hope that you are chosen. But of course, again, with support for Professor Freni as a support letter, it should work. And if you explain why you want to do it, you have many chances to pass. And also, if you explain you have been doing Ppcr and to deepen your research capacity, it should work. And then, for example, when you apply, you should also choose your type of study, your main direction. But there are still some different options. You can still change your mind after that once you have been accepted. But it's also important to choose, for example, if you want to do it full time on 2 semesters or part-time on several years, because this is quite relevant. For example, at the Harvard School of Public Health, there are, if you do the master in public health, there are 2 main categories, the NPH in 45 credits and the NPH in 60 credits. The one, oh yeah, I see a question about epidemiology and generalist. I am just going to speak about this, and I see the question 45 credits, and I'm just coming to that now. The 45 credits is for people who already have a doctoral degree, like an MD or PhD or something else, who have a good basis on health and who can start at an advanced level. And the NPH 60 credits is for people who do not have such a degree and who start at a more basic level. And then you have different options of main focus. Anyway, if you do a PhD, you have the core courses are always the same. But the specific requirements for each direction, for each concentration are a little bit different. And some concentrations, such as the NPH in epidemiology, offers most of the lectures online. In the past semesters, anyway, everything was online because of COVID, but usually this is on site, except the NPH in epidemiology, which can be done mostly online at Harvard. But again, if you want to do it online, there are maybe also other schools, but I can mostly speak about Harvard. And there is the interesting option that I made, which is the summer-only NPH in clinical effectiveness. Clinical effectiveness is like the focus on medical research, and this is on 3 summers, so 3 times 6 weeks intensively in the summer. So that's really intensive because instead of having weekly courses in the semester, we have daily courses. So you have really everyday homework, readings, and this is very, very intensive on 6 weeks. And there is one first half, seminar 1, and the second half, seminar 2. So you have actually, if you want to do 15 credits on each of the 3 summers to reach your 45 credits, then you will do 6 courses per summer, so 3 courses per half summer. That's quite an intensive course of study, and you can also take some semester courses, but only those that are fully online anyway. So you can watch the videos whenever you can, but there are weekly deadlines with like homework and things like this. So I think that's a good option because this way you can only leave your work 6 weeks in the summer 3 times and work the rest of the time. So you don't need like to stop everything, to stop working. And this is what I wanted to do because I'm doing this research fellowship here. So I discussed with my boss, it's okay that I will just be unavailable for 6 weeks. And then the rest of the time I can fully do my research fellowship. And I thought for me, it's better than being all the time studying and working at the same time, juggling with deadlines and homework and work for my boss. And yeah, I prefer to focus on one thing at a time. So I would highly recommend this. But if you like clinical effectiveness, you can of course do it on one full year regular course. You can also do it in part-time over several years. Maybe you want to work 50% and study 50%. That's also an option. I will just go back to I have my browser just to tell you about the different options that there are. Exactly. So in the NPH 45 credits, there is clinical effectiveness, there is epidemiology, there is global health, health and social behavior, health management, health policy, occupational and environmental health, and quantitative methods. So all of them have again, a similar core, and you have also access to many electives, which are mostly the same, but there are different obligatory courses. So depending on what you aim for, if you want more like management, if you want to be like administrator of a hospital, then you can take courses more in this direction. And if you want to be more on global health or whatever, if you want to do quantitative methods, you need some previous coursework in mathematics, for example. And if you want to do an NPH 65, because maybe you don't have an MD or a doctoral title yet, there is a health and social behavior, health management, health policy, and nutrition. So many options. You find everything on the internet. If you go to hsph.harvard.edu, you will find all the options and all the details and course contents and so on. So I think you have plenty of choice there. There are also other options, by the way. We are speaking about the Harvard School of Public Health and doing like advertisement, but I think it's good because I'm learning many interesting things with them. There are other degrees, and there are also Master of Science. If you want, for example, to do a Master of Science in Biostatistics or a Master of Science in Data Science, you can also do it there. And of course, there are also doctoral degrees, so you can find all the details there. I can also share the detailed course curricula, but you find them on the internet. What can I tell you? I'm sharing. I'm actually watching on the webpage. I think I explained to you. Oh yes, the NPH generalist, very important. This is totally new this year. This is this NPH generalist because I'm speaking a lot about the practicalities, but it's the real life. You want to do an NPH, but you have a life, you have a job, and how to make it fit into that. And the new NPH generalist is an online NPH over 2 to 3 years. So it's part-time and online. So it's designed for maximal flexibility to suit around your, to fit around your schedule. So I think it's an interesting option. You have access to basically the same lectures, and you have a broad choice, but you can do it at your own pace. So, I think it's really, really nice. And then maybe the next topic you would like to hear about it when you are at the school. What do you learn? What do you do? So I can tell you about the course of study that I had. So the one in the summer. Oh, I see the question. The name of the last NPH is Generalist NPH. This is also on the web page. exactly. Yeah, what do you do? So this is also another possibility. If you want just to do one summer of intensive study, you can do it. This is the program in clinical effectiveness. This is one summer of 6 weeks, and this is actually the first of the 3 blocks that you would do for a summer-only master in clinical effectiveness. And you can also, for example, just do one block, see if you like it or not, and if you like it, decide to continue with the full master. And you can also, for example, do a summer block and then do your study regularly over the semester, but then you can take a little bit less lectures because you did some of them during the summer block. So it could be also an interesting point to have it less intensively during the year. Why not? So if you start with the summer block, anyway, during the first block, you need to take epidemiology and biostatistics. So you have epidemiology during the 2 halves of the summer, and you have biostatistics level 1 and 2 also during the 2 halves of the summer. So those are just already 4 of the 6 courses that you can take in the summer. So you still have 2 more slots for choices for your choices of courses. You can take more than 6 courses during the summer, but I would not recommend it because it's already a lot. So I think 3 courses in each half of the summer is really, really enough. And then again, you can choose whatever you like in the other summers. There are other options, and I can tell you what I did. I found, for example, very interesting to do decision analysis, which is studying what happens if you choose to do one thing or another thing in medicine, and the extension of that is cost effectiveness analysis. So I did 2 courses on that. It was very interesting. I did regression courses, I did meta-analysis course, I did machine learning course. I did a specific course on cardiovascular epidemiology because I'm a cardiologist, so it's particularly interesting for me. Now I'm doing a semester online course on large database analysis because there are many publicly available databases in the United States and elsewhere. So how can you retrieve the data and analyze it properly to produce very interesting evidence? So that's really nice. And actually, some of the professors of the Harvard School, you know them already. For example, in epidemiology, the summer course, and actually the whole NPH in CLE is led by Professor Heather Baer. This is this highly energetic lady. I don't know where she finds so much energy. She is fantastic. You have her in the lectures, and there is also Professor Orav, the professor in biostatistics that does the statistics course in the summer. He speaks very slowly, but actually it's perfect because when he's going into complex statistics topics, you are very happy that it goes slowly, so you really have time to learn to understand. And so even people who had were anxious about statistics were very happy with him because then you really understand everything and you really have it. So that's really nice. Don't be afraid by biostatistics. I know many people are afraid of that. I like it, so I took more courses with statistics in it in the master. But if it's not your cup of tea, no problem. There are so many other things you can choose from, so you don't have to take a lot of biostatistics. What can I tell you about? I was talking to you about the courses I took. I just have a look at my list. Yeah. And of course, in the basics, the core courses, there are courses about qualitative research, about health systems, about leaderships and communication, so very interesting, about determinants of health, so social behavior and structural determinants of health, and public health policy and politics. It's also very interesting to think about how to interact with the politics, how to speak with politicians to be convincing, and so on. What are how to make for example, when you find evidence of public health, there is a public health issue, you would like to translate it into a public health program that is applied, so things change. But for this, you must have contact with politicians and transform your public health evidence into a real program that will be enforced. So that's a whole process, and it's interesting to learn how to approach this. And of course, the determinants of health is a big topic, particularly in the United States, with many disparities depending on race, on education, on income, and how to tackle this, and gender, also inequalities, particularly important, and many aspects. Actually, I came to this master mostly for biostatistics and analytic methods, and I really discovered a lot of things of public health, and now I find it really interesting to see the big picture and to think about how to change things at the population level. Because when you treat one patient, you help one person. But when you identify a program at the country level and start a new program to change it, you can save many lives. So you can have a huge impact. This is more a long time run to reach a change, but you can have a lot of impact. And we saw now during this COVID pandemics how public health can have an impact in our lives. So again, it's a very good moment to study public health, I think. I see a question here, the main difference between MPH and the Master of Health Sciences. Well, I'm not exactly sure what do you mean with Master of Health Sciences. I think in the end, what you have to check is what are the contents, because in the end, the name of the master does not tell you everything about what you are going to learn. There are different concentrations, so two people with the same title, same MPH, may have different knowledge and competencies, and I think it's also true for the Master of Health Sciences. I guess this is with a different focus, so maybe it's important to have a look at what are the contents. And I also recommend you to do this if you consider the Master of Public Health at the Harvard School or any other school, to have a look at the curriculum, what they offer, what are the choices, are there concentrations or not, and what, and so on, as I told you already, but I think it's very important. Yeah, I think I told you many things. Oh, maybe one question that some people may have, is it difficult? I think this is more a question of dedication. The exams and so on, of course, you have assignments, you have exams. It's not very difficult, but you really need to keep working. It's like if you do nothing, you are going to fail. If you learn regularly, if you attend the lectures, if you read again the lecture after it, if you read the readings, then it's not very difficult. You should manage it, actually. But again, there is a lot to do, so there is a lot of dedication. This is not something you can easily do in the evening when you work full-time in the day, so it's important to really plan some time for that. It's also nice to do it better, to take time to read things, because you learn more. So I think it's really an excellent opportunity to deepen your thinking about health and your ability about research in medicine, be it again in design, in statistics, in also understanding papers on specific topics. Like now, if you study like meta-analysis, or if you cost-effectiveness analysis, those are specific topics. So now then you can really better understand when you read a paper about that. That's really things I can only recommend, and I'm very happy about my choice. I do not regret it at all. The only thing that is difficult is to choose your courses, because there are so many options. You just want to take all of them, and it's not possible. That's my main problem. But yeah, life is made of choices. But with the summer master over 3 summers, you have several times in the summer you can take what you like. So you have several chances of having all the courses you like most. So it's interesting. And there is also a lot of flexibility. If, for example, there is one course that is only the semester and you took the summer master, but you absolutely want to do that course, I mean, you can always speak with the people there. I mean, they may allow you, even though theoretically you should not be allowed to. So I found it so nice that they have the rules, but there is also some flexibility if you have a clear goal, a clear plan, and a good reason for it. So it's always nice to see that. But I speak. Maybe you have questions, maybe you have something to say. Maybe I can share a few links, so you have something to click on. I should have done it before, actually. I'm speaking. That would be, for example, the degree programs at the Harvard School of Public Health. And here you have the page specific on the Master of Public Health. You can also send them your mail address and say you are potentially interested, and they will send you more information. And they are also very helpful people. You can write to them. They answer very quickly to give you more details. If you have questions, I can also, if you have specific questions, I can tell you. This is the link. There was the question about the generalist NPH. Here is the link to the generalist NPH. This is more about admissions, like, no, not admissions, sorry, applications. Apply, how to apply, when to apply very soon. Actually, if you want to target December. Oh, I realized I forgot something quite important, because I think most of you are not from the United States, just like me. You need to validate your diploma from your country, and this happened in so fast with a company called WES. World Education Services. You have to send them your credentials and they validate it. I had a big problem because I did it just during the COVID outbreak. So the West office were like shut down and they did not validate my papers. So formally I missed the deadline, but they were a little bit tolerant at the public school because everything was blocked. So and I had sent everything on time. It was just bad luck. So it's also a good thing is sometimes you can be slightly flexible with deadlines if you have a good reason. And I think being blocked by COVID is a good reason. I had a bit of problems with those people for the validation of credentials because they are very like, yeah, it was a bit difficult because they wanted to have my grades from my university, but in Switzerland, medical exams are national. So my university does not have my grades, because these are held by the national office that manages medical examinations. So I sent them this and they said, no, we want the paper of the university with the grades, but that does not exist. So I had to call people and ask them to the people from the national office to send the paper to the university, that they put a stamp of the university on the national papers to send them to the West so that they are happy because they have a stamp of the university on the paper, which is not from the university. That worked. So just to tell you, if they are a little bit annoying, this is something you can do to get a stamp of the university on the papers. Yeah, I see Alma gave the address of West exactly. So if you are considering any course of study in the United States, you can already get in touch with them because you don't need to wait until you apply for the MPH to have the OS certification. You can already send your application and get the OS certification later, so you don't need to have it by the 1st of December. But if you are kind of sure that you want to do it, why wait? And you need actually certified translation. So you cannot just translate your diploma and send it to them. It has to be translated by someone who is like a legal translator who can stamp and say he's really accredited to do legal translations. But I could find that in Switzerland. I don't know in your countries, but certainly you can find it. So and sometimes you can get actually an official copy of your diploma in English. It's also okay. So that's all the practical things. I should have talked about it before, but well, I spoke about other things. I see many comments there. ECFMG. I'm not totally sure.
I'm already answered, Olivier, don't worry.
Yeah, I see. I would say yes, also probably because I guess you had to have your credentials certified to be CFMG certified. So I guess yes.
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
Because actually I'm here as a researcher. I'm not here as a physician. So I have a J1 visa for research scholar. So it's a little bit different. There's also a topic if you want to discuss about how to get a visa to come to the United States, because this is also something if you want to do the course on site, you will need that. If you are only going to study, you can get a student visa. This is organized by the university. There's not a problem, but you have to tell them well in advance you will need it so they can do the paperwork. But if you have this, I think you are not allowed to work. So depending on your plans, if just like me, you would like to study part-time and do research the rest of the time, maybe you would want to have a researcher visa or a physician visa, depending on your goals. All there are all options that you should consider. What else can I say about that? Yeah, it was very complicated to get a visa during COVID, but now it's getting better. Any questions?
Oliver, I got one privately here, and they're asking what is like the best advice that you get for them for the GRE, how to score high, and if they should take it since it was waived.
Yeah, so the thing is, I don't think that, the question is how to score high or how high the score should be.
Like, what do you recommend should be the lowest score to be acceptable?
The people in Harvard know the answer. There is no official answer, but the thing is, I think that your application is considered globally. So the GRE is one element, but it's not the only element. So I think I had a look at the internet that I think I'm not sure, I should check. But you can find this. If you type GRE Harvard, you don't really find what is the minimal score, because I don't know if there is even an answer to that, but you find the average scores or like the standard deviations of the people who were accepted at Harvard, so that gives you an idea. But again, I think that this is a little bit less selective for a master, which is a study for people who already have a degree, rather than for studies like medicine or law, etc., or politics, there where it's very, very difficult to get in, and you need a huge score. And I think for NPH, you need a good score, but you don't need an incredible score. So it's important to prepare in advance, but yeah, I think don't let the GRE block you in any way. This year, there is no GRE requirement. So if the GRE is a concern for you, just apply now, because it is waived because of COVID. Yeah, so, but actually, one good thing, I see the discussion, you should highlight the quantitative competency. You can highlight that you have been doing Ppcr, that's already something, and a big something. So you can show that, and maybe you have already done a little bit of research, so you can also show what you have done. I think all those are elements that can help beyond the GRE score. Any other questions? I speak too much.
No questions, but I have a comment about the West, because the person that was asking about the ECFNG, it's true that the ECFNG validates your degree here in the United States, but the universities always ask you for the GPA. So it's why you need to translate all your documents and send them to West, and they will give you the GPA, so you know if you can apply for the master's or PhD, depending on what you want.
And I think there are other scores instead of GRE. There's also the MCAT. I think you can also send.
Yes, it's true.
But again, not this year, so do it now. It was already so like here. Last year, I don't know how it will be next year. So, by the way, the lectures are now on site again. They just restarted 3 weeks ago on site. Until then, it was all online. It worked actually pretty well. Actually, I should have arrived in the United States 1 year ago, but it was all delayed because of COVID. I needed more time to get the visa and so on, because all the offices were closed and so on. So actually, I did most of my Harvard study from home in Switzerland. It was funny. So I could usually you have to know to dress well to go to the university, but I could just come in pajamas with a cup of coffee to my computer, and now let's go to Harvard. That was fun. So I was among the lucky students who were able to study in pajamas and to get up like 5 minutes before the beginning of the course. But now on site, it's still you have to go there again, and it's normal lectures again. But the very big downside of online teaching is the lack of networking, because I think a very important part of learning at Harvard or elsewhere is to meet interesting people, professors and other students, have a coffee between courses with very interesting people that may have similar interests as you, so you can start projects or just meet nice people and have nice talks. And I was missing this with the online teaching due to COVID. But usually this summer master that I did should be on site. And it was, I did it online for this summer and the previous summer. And now the course that I'm doing during the semester is online anyway. But next summer I should be able to do it on site. That's frustrating because I'm just next to the school. What can I show you? Can we share documents here?
Yes, you can.
I can share documents
Yes.
here.
No, I mean sharing the screen.
Ah, yeah, share the screen, yeah. But I could have sent you like the curricula for the studio for the studies. Otherwise, I can share the screen. For example, if you want to see the one on clinical effectiveness, this is the NPH curriculum guide. You can find it on the internet. If you type it, there is a separate curriculum just for this one. Because it's special, because you can do it either classically over a semester or the part-time or in the summer. So this is why there is a separate document. So I can show you, you can see the field of study leader, as I told you, is Professor Bear. She's fantastic. Professor of Epidemiology, absolutely the best. With Professor Frenny, of course. Well, all the details I wanted to show you. Yeah, the idea is always you have the core courses for any MPH. You have the obligatory courses which depend on your direction of study, and you have electives, and you have the practicum, which is kind of a master thesis, if you want, like a research work that you have to do. The policies are maybe not very interesting here. Exactly, that's what I told you. The core curriculum, field of study coursework, electives, and yeah, it was the MPH. And among the core curriculum, there is also the master thesis. As you can see, there are not so many courses that are obligatory for this MPH in clinical effectiveness. So you have a lot of room for your choices. That's quite interesting. So you can really do it personalized. What you have to have is clinical epidemiology, but you have it at the beginning anyway, and statistics, you have it at the beginning anyway. You have the obligatory MPH courses, which are here, and foundations of public health. Oh, that's excellent. This is with Professor, oh, what's her name? She's fantastic. Professor Goldie. She's brilliant. And yeah, exactly. And you have you must take a regression course. This is the academic year. And if you want to download this document, you will find all the details. Here are the courses that you can do online if you do the summer master. The summer is here actually. Yeah, summer only. The obligatory courses are maybe at a different time because it's in the summer or not during the semester, but the contents are similar. So I can show you this one. Do I have sharing? This is all publicly available, so I'm not showing anything secret. Huh? Any question? I'm happy to answer questions, otherwise I can show other things. Now this is the other curriculum. I sent you the addresses. I think you're pretty much all set to start your MPH.
So Cecilia just added one question, Oliver. Do you have a final research project at the end of the program?
Yes, exactly. This is what I told you. Yeah. This is this research program that is part of the program. Yes. You have to do one. Either you have a professor that can support you, or they can find someone within the school to support you in a project in the topics of your choice. So no problem. This is also an advantage of doing it part-time or over several summers and not concentrated over 2 semesters, that you have more time to do a research job. If you are not working in research, it can be critical. If you are doing a research fellowship, it's okay, but the question is more which one of my projects I'm going to use for the NPH. And it's really nice because now I feel I learned so many things. So I was doing research in parallel, and I was learning things in the day and implementing that in the evening in my projects for my current research. So it was very, very nice. Learning interesting things like in predictive modeling and so on, and in machine learning I could use right away. So it was, and I could directly discuss also my current project with the professors because they are very accessible. So you can send them mails and so on between the lectures. Hey, I did have a question. I'm exactly doing an analysis on the topic you presented today, and thought, should I do it like this or like that? And it was very, very helpful. See, are there any other questions? Yeah, there's some Wes, and the address for SOFAS for the application, you find the link on the website. So that's really not a problem. You find all the details, which documents and so on the website, and anyway it changes for every school. And so I think the best is to directly take the information from each website where it is up to date. So you have exactly the details of what you need for each course of study. What can I tell you? Now, very nice information on their web pages, and they are totally welcoming for people from abroad. I am by far not the only one from abroad here. Oh, maybe I can do. Because if you think you are going to come to Boston, maybe you are wondering if you can do something else here in Boston. I know there are many people who do research in Professor Frenier's lab, so that can be something if you're interested in neurorehabilitation. And there is also something I can talk about them, about the IRI. This is a group of alumni Ppcr people who can help you to connect with a research lab in Boston. So it can be also something interesting. I'm just Googling the link. It's a bit slow. It's IRI, International Research Initiative. It's going now. It's here. So I think it's also an interesting option. Yeah, here we are. So you can have a look at them. Having done Ppcr belongs to the program. It is not an issue for you. So maybe if you want to do some research in Boston, but you don't really know how to get in touch with people there, they may help you. That can be interesting. So you can maybe combine the research and the part-time study, just like I do. I think it's a perfect combination, but of course it's different for everyone. So depending on your life and your plans. I think for an important conclusion, because this is only 1 hour, the good news about the Master of Public Health is that it's very, you can personalize it in the contents, so you can really orient it to your needs, to the things you want to learn. If you don't like biostatistics, you don't need to take more than the basic stuff, for example, and if you like them, then just take a lot. You can also suit it practically to your needs, like over 1 year, part-time over several years, online if it's complicated to come to the United States, or of course there is not only the United States, there are also good schools as well, as I told you, maybe in London and so on. It could be also an advantage for the price, because unfortunately the price can be a problem, but again, for the price there can be solutions, there are funding opportunities, so don't let the price be a roadblock. And again, there are good ways of combining part-time study with research to really make interesting time, for example, here in Boston, just like I'm doing. So I'm very happy of combining both. Any questions?
Please don't be shy. Open your mic if you want to talk directly to.
I will not eat you. I cannot over Zoom. You can also write to me afterwards. You can find my address or on Weaver or whatever you like. But happy to answer questions. Again, don't hesitate to visit all the websites of the school. If you type Master in Public Health, you will find many options. And if you want to do it online, then you type online and you will find also several options, and really get into the program, get into the curriculum, choose one that you like, that focuses on what you would like to do.
You got one more question right now. Is Salvatore asking how are the exams
the exams.
organized?
Well, in the one I'm doing at the Harvard School, there is like exams for each course. So there is not like one big exam. There is a grade for each course, but for each course you can choose if you do it for grade or just pass or fail. I don't have all the details in mind, but you cannot just take all courses or as just pass fail. There is just like a limited percentage of courses that you are allowed to do like this, but most of them should be for a grade. And actually, most courses have many assignments during the course, and your assignment grades kind of sum up to a final grade, a little bit like Ppcr. Most courses do have something a bit bigger at the end, either an exam or some project, large assignment that you have to give. Maybe you have to design a trial, maybe you have a little project to do, maybe like a meta-analysis to do for the meta-analysis course, a large database analysis for the large database course, and so on. Again, I think the exams are totally doable if you work regularly. So don't be too much afraid by the potential difficulty. If you are really able to dedicate to the study, it should be okay. And of course, if you don't go to the lectures and don't learn anything, then it will be more difficult. What else? I'm happy to speak. No question. I'm happy that you are thankful. I hope that I can help you to make your decision, and don't hesitate to ask me if you want. Last call for questions. Now or never. You're welcome. I'm happy if I can help you.
Okay, I don't have more questions here, but neither YouTube or here. But thank you, Oliver, for your time and for sharing your experience and your advice on the application. Guys, most of the information is in the website. Also, there are many great NPH in the United States, not just at Harvard. In Europe, there are many options for you. Got people also applying in Australia and things like that. So, because there are many great programs, so we can even.
It's okay. There are a few links here, but well, it's for other universities, but it's also good. So, for example, this one, or this one here. This one here, I told you about them. Or This one is also good. Yeah, lots of choices. And all of them are a little bit different, so have a look at the programs.
Any other questions, guys?
And there are, yeah, you can also, if maybe if you think you would like to deepen your research ability, but the NPH is too much to fit into your schedule, there are maybe other options. There are many online courses, maybe on edX or Coursera. They can also lead to a diploma in the end. It's not a master, but still it's a paper that shows what you have done. And there are small courses or large courses that you do over several months that can be also interesting, very flexible, and quite in-depth, depending on what you like. For example, data science or many things like this, on statistics. If you like that, you can find many options online. I see a question about the full-time NPH. I am not an expert because I don't do it, but yes, usually, yes, you have like lectures every day on campus. The Harvard School of Public Health is at Longwood. It's in Boston, but it's not as the main part of the Harvard University, which is in Cambridge. Technically, Harvard University is not in Boston. This is a surrounding city called Cambridge. So maybe you were wondering, but I see Harvard and Cambridge. What is that? But it's not the Cambridge in England. This is Cambridge near Boston. But Harvard School of Medicine and Public Health and Dental Medicine are in Longwood. So yes, until last semester, it was all online on Zoom because of the pandemics, but now it's again on site. Maybe, well, it's still a little bit changing. So maybe some of the courses are online and some are on site. It depends on your program, but it should be on site. And then you have, yeah, you have to send, of course, your vaccination, proof of vaccination and so on. All the things also for COVID if possible, or otherwise you can get the vaccine here. And I think it's actually an advantage because, well, I was joking about going in pajamas to the lectures on my computer, but I think there are more advantages of having the course in person because you meet the people, and I think this is something really, really nice that is more difficult online. We can do like WhatsApp groups for each course, like to make group of students to work on assignments together, because on some assignments it's allowed. It's interesting to work on assignments in a group. But it's a bit different on WhatsApp and on Zoom compared to in reality. And yeah, something you have to consider if you make your program is if you just, how do you say that? There is quite a lot of work for each course. So maybe you look at a course and you say, well, it's just 1.5 hours a week, it's not much. Yes, okay, but there are assignments, readings, many things to do. So the duration of the course, of the lecture, is just the tip of the iceberg. So this is why also you should not take too many courses. Don't take more courses as needed because you think I want to learn more. I am a little bit like this, but if you take into consideration all the things you have to do for one course, then it's not going to work if you take too many. There are still many people connected, so how many course at the same time? So, well, I can only tell you about the master in the summer only master because it's the one I did. This is a master 45 credits and 3 summers. So you can aim for about 15 credits per summer. You can also do, I think, 10 credits of online courses during the semester. So you can a little bit reduce the number of courses that you take during the summers. And some of the core courses that are obligatory for the NPH, it changes. With COVID, I had to do them during the semesters, but it might change. But that means that you may be able to do some of the courses during the semesters, and you may not have to take 15 credits in each summer. And 15 credits in one summer is usually, one course is like 2.5 credits. So, and you have summer 1 and summer 2, so 2 blocks of 3 weeks. So usually you take 3 courses for each block, so 6 courses for one summer. So you always have 3 courses simultaneously in the summer NPH, because those are daily courses with daily assignments and so on. If you do it over the semester, then of course you take more than 3 courses at the same time, but those are weekly courses with 1 lecture each week. Most people aim to do their 45 credits over 2 semesters, so you have to take but I like the master thesis make some of the credits, so you can aim for about 20 credits per semester plus the master research. And so I think this is what you should use as an orientation. But at least for the summer NPH, I would not recommend to do more than 15 credits in a summer, because it's already a lot. And yeah, what can I tell you? There is also a convenience sale system. When you enroll for your courses, it checks if you have courses at the same time or not, because sometimes it's an issue. But what is also good is if you do the semester version, you have a large choice of courses, and sometimes you have several courses on the same topic, but given by different people with a slightly different angle. So it's interesting because it's like you cannot take one of these courses because it's like simultaneous with another one that you have, then you can take the second one, which is also fine. And so you always find something. We have a lot of choices in the semester courses. In the summer courses, you have maybe a little less choice, but still is more than enough to choose, I tell you. I would be happy to do like a 4th summer to take even more courses, because they all seem so interesting. So that's already more than enough. Are you able to work during the MPH? I think this is totally linked to the question, how do you do it? If you do it full-time, part-time, summer only, online or not? So that's the question. And if you want to work during the MPH, I would suggest to do it part-time. That means over more than 2 semesters, but like not with the full course load, or to do as I do it, the summer MPH where you only study. But if you do the summer MPH, you really cannot work during those 6 weeks, because you are just learning a lot. So not during these 6 weeks, but you can work all the rest of the year. So this is something you may negotiate with your boss. If you explain this is not for holidays, this is for learning something that is useful, because then I will be a better researcher and so on. But that worked for me. But fortunately, there are many, as I told you, different MPH to find the one that fits best to your schedule. If you want to work in parallel, then do a part-time one or a summer one. How many hours available in a week? Yeah. Well, if you do the summer one, you just do only that for 6 weeks. Don't plan anything else, except maybe in the weekends. You are just, after the end of your day, you have your homework and you start doing them. You just do that. So if you do the summer NPH, you just plan to do only that. And if you do the one during the semester, I'm not sure, because I'm not doing it. I just took some courses, so I just did a few hours. Yeah, it's written for each course, but you should plan several hours a week for each course that you do. It's a little bit flexible, because you are not totally forced to read every reading, but if you read more, you learn more. So it's also there is also a possibility to modulate your learning. but this is all what I told you. If you have like 1.5 hours of lectures for a course per week, you have to plan. I would say at least that, but even a bit, maybe twice that of time of assignments and readings and things for the next week. It's very variable. There are professors who do a lot of readings, they are crazy, and other ones who don't give that much. Yeah, for weekly engagement during a semester master, maybe we should ask some of those who do it in a semester way. And yeah, I'm also a little bit crazy. I really want to read every reading, and so I think I might not be very median in my time that I invest in that. So other questions? I'm still thinking about the time I spend. It totally depends on the course, totally. But I would say at least the same time of the lectures until the next course, but rather a bit more. I would count like yeah, maybe an average of maybe 3 hours per course. But this is if you think weekly, because the problem if you do the summer master, you have daily courses, so you have to every evening you are learning your things of the day and doing your assignment for the next day. So you are just like working in the evening and in the night every time. It's also nice that the advantage of this is like, so there are, as I told you, 2 blocks of 3 weeks in a 6-week summer, but like in 3 weeks, you like learn so many things, and you start something, a topic from scratch, and after 3 weeks, you have done it every day so much that you feel like, yeah, I can do something now. That's the positive things. And again, you can use the knowledge directly in your current research. Anything else? I see many people connected, but no face. Hello, are you alive? I will not bite you, I promise.
I am alive. Hello, Oliver.
Good. Anything else? I don't know, questions about courses, lecture, public health. Again, public health is interesting, really. And that's the best time to study public health with the COVID pandemics. Not only because you don't need the GRE, but because the topic is really live. I don't know, maybe
Yes, there are like,
there are no questions.
okay. So, okay, guys, thank you. And Oliver, thank you once more for your time and for explaining everything. Let me see again in YouTube, but I see no. No questions here neither. You're welcome to open the mic and ask directly. Perfect time.
Yes, so if anyone has a question, I'm happy to answer. Maybe, I don't know if you are considering an NPH but still have doubts or fears or things you think that could be a problem, then if you speak about it, or because again, there is a high flexibility in all the different course of studies that you can do. So you can always find something that suits your schedule and possibilities in time, in geography, in also in costs and so on.
Okay, I believe they don't have more questions, Oliver, but okay. Thank you, everyone. So we'll share the recording later for the ones who joined late. And then, as you know, Oliver is senior TA in the program. We will also share his email, but you can also find him in River. And we'll be glad to help. We'll announce when the webinars open for the NPH, because they also pass them to us, the Zoom link, so you can join and ask directly to the admission team any other thing they would like to ask them, and like finance issues, stuff like that. Scholarship is another important question that you always got, and things. So have a nice night, and we'll see you tomorrow during the lecture. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Well, people are frequently shy to ask questions. But they were.
Yes, I believe they were like that today. No, but also because you talk about many things and you share many great.
I try to approach many topics that could be questions. So
yeah, great. Thank you so much, Oliver, for your time.
welcome.
Great. So I'll see you later and soon. Have a nice night. Thank you.
Bye-bye. And by the way, when are you coming to Boston finally? You said you were looking for a house.
Let me write to you. Soon. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.